we move on to cityscapes and buildings and things, we have to go back to something pretty basic, which Nina was reminding me about last week in our Sunday class. So guess what we're going to be drawing, Nina? Can you, do we have your voice today? Perhaps not.
Okay, can you hear me now?
We can.
Cubes.
Yes, we're going to be talking about cubes today. We're going to start with cubes and then we're going to move to perspective and buildings. So
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Well,
great.
you know, it is a great beginning concept. When I think about it, I'm like, so we're going to start by dealing with the cube, drawing a cube and dealing with the light on a cube. So that, because cubes are really buildings, and we're also going to start to talk about perspective a bit. So go ahead and I don't know how many of you were taught to draw a cube. There is a couple of ways to do it. You can start with a square like that. Or you can start like this. So you could do both if you want to. If you start with the square like this, you're going to draw two lines at a diagonal out. This is the most simplified cube. So I think this is the one we do as kids. So notice these are not going straight up, right? They're going at an angle. If you really checked the angle, you would see that they are not going the same angle, and it's the same here. So this angle and this angle are not the same. This one is a little bit steeper. This one is a little bit less steep. If you can see, if I'm measuring it, and then we draw a straight line across and then a straight line down. So that's a kind of a simple cube. You might want to try it. And one of the things to keep in mind is that as these lines go back, they are not parallel. So at some point, they're going to meet in what's called a vanishing point. Right? So these can't be parallel lines. They can't be parallel. If they are, they'll just continue going like this. Right? And that's not what's happening. They're always kind of going. And these are going to one direction because this is one side of the cube. These on the top, actually, I think these would go to the same, I think this would go to the same vanishing point. I think that would go to the same vanishing point because it's the same direction. Let me check. I have a sketch on that. Yes, indeed. So this also goes to the same. So all of these lines going this direction will go to a single vanishing point, which means that each of these lines is at a slightly different angle. If they were at the same angle, as I said, they would not meet, right? So as you're drawing cubes and buildings, you want to be thinking about that. So go ahead and sketch that out just as a little, as a beginning. Here, I'll have us do this later. The other thing to note is that these are all the same size, right? We know that. I mean, intellectually, we know that this side is the same as this size, and this size is the same as this size, and that there are 1, 2, 3 sides we can't see that are also there, right? There's one underneath, which we can't see. There's one on this side. Wait, there is. There may be 1, 2 sides. No, 3, and then the back side. If I were to draw a little line, there we go. Now we can see them. See that? So you can go ahead. So there are 3 sides that we can't see. We can see if we draw the little dotted lines. But this is clearly the biggest square, right? Even though these are the same size, this is the biggest square. Why is that? Why is this bigger than these?
It's nearer.
Yes, it's closer. So what happens when we start adding perspective onto a flat surface, right? We want to show the illusion of 3 dimensions on a flat surface is we have to angle up and narrow in things as they go away from us. We also know this square is sitting on a table. This cube is sitting on a table, right? But it doesn't look like it. It looks like this cube is rising up. And that is because this side and this side are all going away from us. So as they go away from us, they become more angled and get smaller. Questions about that? Does that make sense to you? So go ahead and spend a little bit of time sketching that out. And jump in and tell me if this is not, I want you to jump in if like I'm going too fast or this doesn't make sense. So if we want to deal with, I'd like to draw, because this is how a lot of buildings sit, we're not going to draw our cube flat like this. I'd like to draw our cube at an angle like this. So you can start with a straight line, angled lines, and then a straight vertical line. Notice, by the way, that although the horizontal lines are angled, the vertical lines are always straight. So if we were to extend this out, right, and make this a rectangle, this line would still be straight. This line would be straight. This any vertical line, this line, all these lines are straight. They remain straight. It's the horizontal lines that angle. So here's the bottom of the cube. And then here is the top of the cube. It's kind of like a little person doing a cheerleader, right? Wah! Hoorah! Don't draw this. I'll erase it, but I can help it. It looks so too appealing. And then we've got a line going this way and a line going this way and two straight lines going down, right? So that's kind of sketching a cube on the side. Do you want me to do that again, or do you got it? Go ahead and sketch it in if you've got it. If you want me to do it again, I'm happy to do it again. All right. So once you get your cube in, let's say that the light is coming from this side. You like my realistic sun there? There's my sun. The light is coming from this side, top left, which means that this top part here is the lightest area, the light area. And as these turn away, they become darker. I want to do something else here too. I want to add a wall and a table to that this cube is sitting on. So I do that by just drawing these two lines, right, straight across. And let's see, the shadow would look like that. So to really emphasize this light area, I'm going to go pretty dark around the edge of the cube on the wall. I'm going to say this is like a 5-ish, 4.5 or 5. I'm going to say that this shadow on the table is slightly lighter. This is probably
Hi, Leah. It's Marianne.
Hi, Marianne. Welcome.
Thank you. Sorry I'm late.
That's okay. I am so lucky. My friend Julie just came in and brought me a coffee. Thank you, Julie.
Aw.
Oh,
She knows you need your coffee in the
she
morning.
knows I need my coffee. Boy, does she know. Julie's a wonderful artist here in Portland. She does this fantastic. I'll send you a picture of her stuff later. So I'd say this is like a 3, this shadow, and this is like a 4 to 5. So I'm really working this edge here to make sure that these two, this looks lighter than this. Maybe it's a 4. Okay. Right. And then these sides, because they are farther away from the light, are slightly darker. So this side is definitely what we would call a halftone. So it's lighter than this shadow, this cast shadow. Okay, but it's darker than here. And that's because it's the farthest visible part of the cube that we can see. So we can label that halftone. And this is like a 2. So this side, this will be dark, but this is not going to be, this is going to be darker than this, but lighter than this. So here's a 3, here's a 2. This is also a halftone. A halftone means somewhere between dark and light. This is light. This is a 2 halftone. This is a 3 halftone. This is a cast shadow. That's like a 4. This is the wall. It's a 5. Okay. So go ahead. Let's see. Hi, Sandra.
Hi, Leah. So
Hey,
the
Sandra.
the second cube, it has 2 vanishing points as opposed to 1, right?
Yeah, we
Because-
didn't get, yes, good. I think it actually has like,
But at least 2.
this is 1. Yes, it's got 1. You want me to draw those out? Thank you.
No, I just got confused because I did the second big cube like the first one, but I realized
Yeah,
yours
this
is
has
more at an
got,
angle.
this is on the corner. This is on the corner. This is on a
Right.
corner. So, right. So this side is shorter and this side I've actually got it tipped because this is how a lot of buildings are shaped. So yeah, so this goes to, this has got 2 vanishing points if you want me to. So there's one going this direction. There's a vanishing point going here. And then there's one going, it's going to go off the page. We won't be able to see it, right? It'll go here. If I could just keep drawing onto this page. Right, the vanishing point will go here. Okay.
Well, I think the back line of the cube of the top looks like it's going too much upward.
Which back line? This one?
Bottom.
This one?
The lower cube, the lower cube,
It
the
did-
lower
yeah,
cube, the
that's
other
okay.
cube, the cube you have underneath.
Don't worry about it.
Ah,
Don't worry
Good.
about it.
because
It's-
that
it's
one has a
approximate.
wrong, it has a wrong angle in the back.
I haven't gone like into the detail of the angles. It's steeper than this is the thing.
Yeah.
That's
So,
the only
so
thing.
the furthest back points up too much.
Right, okay. I'm not too worried about that in this stage. I'm more thinking
sorry.
about shading.
I shut up.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I don't want to get too much into the detail. We have this coming up and you'll see it. You guys will see it in the next sketch that we're going to copy. But yes, you're right. anyway, I'm more thinking about shading and more just about the general concept that these lines are not parallel. Yeah. But technically that's what happens. And we'll look at that next in a second. I thought I would work you guys up slowly. Go ahead and send over pictures as you're working on this. I know hey, this is beginning drawing, so I don't feel bad about it. I know it's like, yes, I added this in, Sandra, to, yep, that's exactly right. You got it. You got it. Perfect.
I've got it now.
Perfect.
I've got it now.
Got it. You've got it.
I just
Oh,
need
good.
to do the
Nice.
shading.
Yep, you're absolutely right, Julia. Good. Yes. So let's look at the next set here. Well, I'll let you guys catch up. Take a minute. Take a minute. It seems really simple, right? The cube, yet it's elemental to everything we do. And I feel like we're kind of taught how to draw it as kids, but we're not really taught to talk about what's happening. It's kind of interesting. So we all have like maybe, or most of us are taught, maybe not everybody is taught, but some of us are taught how to draw
drawing
this.
it wrong my whole life.
You've been drawing it wrong your whole night. Have you been drawing it with
I've never done
parallel?
vanishing points.
What's that?
I never did the vanishing points. It's just
You never, well, yeah, because it's not really obvious, right? Like it's not really an obvious, it's not an obvious call unless you know that. That's the kind of thing you won't learn. It's the kind of thing that you can't learn. Yeah, that looks good. Mira, that looks good. Go ahead and add some shading in. We're gonna, because yeah, exactly. I mean, who would know that? Who the hell would know that? It's a mind bender, this concept. Yeah, you're right. I see your point, Diana. Yes, absolutely. That a little bit has to come this way. This has to go this way. Absolutely. We'll get on this one in the next sketch. I love this set of exercises because this is from a book called The Oil Painting Course You've Always Wanted. Her drawing stuff in this book is amazing. And actually this lesson, I'll show you, comes from, if you look, it's called Creating a Landscape Painting. So she has all of this detail for a landscape painting, which I just think is really great. She really goes into detail on this concept. So we'll talk about a little bit more about vanishing points, where they go, where they are. Yes, it should be here, truthfully, if we're gonna go. So go ahead and practice and get the shading in. I'd like to see a couple more pictures before we go on. Nice. Nice, Sandra. I love seeing how you're exercising the vanishing points much better than I did.
Well, it's just otherwise, I find if you don't put the lines, then you don't know.
Then you don't know them,
It's very
right?
difficult to eyeball it.
It's true. And I wasn't really talking about vanishing point as much as shading in this one, but
Right.
we'll get there. We're going to get,
I'm
no, I
working on
love
the
it. You're
shading now.
jumping in. You're jumping in. Okay, Nina, let's see. So Nina, you've got this line going like that. This is not straight.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yep, yep. Straight. All your verticals should be straight. Can you is that why your cube looked a little bit drunk? He's
I think they all look drunk, actually. So
this is good practice. We'll practice this.
someone told me you're supposed to practice drawing straight lines. So I don't know if anybody has done that. Is that like something you're supposed to learn?
I mean, you get better with your tool, right? You get better with your tool. When I think about what I do, I tend to, here I'm like leaning up so you guys can see. I tend to like lean my hand against the board so that I can draw a straight line. I kind of lean it, see that? So I have the steadiness. If I try to come in like this, it's harder for me to draw a straight line. So if I lean, I don't know if anybody else does that, but if I lean my pencil, my hand here, then I have more stability to draw a straight line. I don't know if that helps. Yeah, all of it is practice. I think this is, I don't know if I've told you guys about the student I've had. She's now 15, I think, or 14, but she was 6 when I started working with her, and very smart kid, like super smart kid. Like I'd say 4 or 5 levels up in math, in reading, and history, in writing. She was really, but when we started working together at 6, she was 7 when we started working together. Her hand-eye coordination was at the same as every other kid's. So between the ages of like 7 and 9, that's when kids begin to be able to say, for example, draw a circle, right? A perfectly round circle. So if you haven't practiced this thing, right? So kids start practicing it, and you'll see that a kid between the ages of 7 and 9, sometimes they're going to do it and sometimes they can't, right? Sometimes they struggle. So that is a very clear developmental age. I want you to think about what's going on. And it's also the age where most of us stop learning to draw. So a lot of us are at the 7 to 9 year old. And I don't mean that insultingly. I mean, I totally was there myself. It's about, I want you to think about it. It's about not just understanding what a circle looks like and being able to see it on the paper, right? Because we've talked about how hard it is to see what's happening on the paper. It's also about getting your hand to use this tool. So there's a lot of skills that happen between the ages of 7 and 9. Now, kids are developing it as well when they're learning to handwrite, right? They're developing it, and they're really developing it when they're learning cursive. But unfortunately, kids aren't learning that stuff as much anymore, which is why their hand or eye coordination. Anyways, to make a long story short, by the way, these are looking good. Excellent. To make a long story short, this kid ended her first 5 lessons with me sobbing hysterically, sobbing because she was used to being better, things being easy for her. And this was not easy for her. She was exactly so she was a gifted kid in every area, but she was exactly, and it made sense, 7 to 9, she was like trying to develop this skill. She would sob. I would feel terrible. Her mother, who's now my best friend, would say, "We're just going to end the lesson now, and I will and we'll start again later." And but after 6 or 7 lessons, she stopped crying. She stopped being worried about like what she was doing. And that really taught me, first of all, her mother's response, which was great. So whenever she started crying, JC would get on and say very gently, "Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. We're going to end the lesson now. We'll try again." And after a while, Nara got used to the process of erasing, that she didn't have to make mistakes all the time. This is really profound information for me about how, because as I said, many of us are kind of stuck at this level. So we may be able to kind of talk ourselves out of some of the more frustrating aspects, but we don't actually have the skill because we got frustrated there and didn't know how to talk ourselves out of it. So what we taught her was Nara was how to understand like that this skill of using this pencil and getting these shapes right is a massive brain development thing. And you can't rush that. However, once you do rush that, it opens a whole set of analytical skills that influence all brain activity, which explains why, American, like I know American kids barely handwrite anymore. And it shows. I bet it shows in test. It shows in test scores. It shows in intellectual stuff but mostly it really shows when I have a kid who is gifted in every other thing, but struggles to draw a circle at the age of 11, right? I see a lot of kids like that. A lot of kids who cannot draw a circle clearly at the age of 11. I'm like, wow, that should be happening between 7 and 9. So it's an interesting, anyway, that's my observation. I should stop. It's all, what do you call it? It's all anecdotal. But that's my observation. So all of this stuff that we're working on is really huge. And by the way, these are all looking great. What I'd like to do is move you to the next part of this exercise. So let me, here, I'm going to cover this up. And we'll talk a little bit about Vanishing Point.
Leah?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'll be really quick. You taught me like the best lesson I've ever learned with painting, which is that like every painting goes through an awkward phase.
Right?
And that you just have to keep going, because my whole life
Yes.
I gave up in the awkward phase. And then I was like, oh, I just have to keep going.
And you know, yeah, that the awkward phase shows you're getting somewhere, actually, which is the thing. Marianne, it's hard for me to imagine me teaching you anything. You are masterful. If you're, I want you to post what you're working on, because Gina's not in this class, to this group, if you don't mind. Because she's working, I mean, anyway, Marianne's a masterful drawer and painter, so that makes me feel really good to know. And you know what? That helped me too. I learned that from a book, an acrylic painting book, like I picked up 15 years ago. And every painting stage had something called the awkward stage. And the reason it's awkward is it doesn't have enough detail. And your eye is very critical because it doesn't have enough detail. So fascinating. Like, yeah, it's all these basic things, right?
Well, it's also like emotional stamina, you know?
Yeah, totally. Like knowing that it'll get better.
Yeah, like it always gets worse before it gets better, you know? Like the painting I'm working on now, I really like the underdrawing. And I'm kind of like, I know that when I start working on it, it's going to get worse, you know, like I'll have ruined the underdrawing.
Yeah, I know. On this particular painting, I know exactly what you're talking about too, because you've nailed it very beautifully.
Well, I'm about to destroy it. So,
all right, go destroy it, Marianne.
Bear with me, and I'll have to fix it again. So, you know.
It's so true. Yeah, you have to kind of hold your nerve. Right? You have to hold your nerve like through phases, because as we block things in big, we have to block things in really big before we get to detail. But our brain kind of wants us to fill in that detail. It's this, oh my God, this is such a fascinating thing. All right. So we are going to create something called the horizon line. If I was standing here, this is the line where like sky meets land, right? So if you're looking in the distance and you see a place where the sky, or say like a tree line like this, meets the land, this is the horizon line. And that is at your eye level. So this is your eye level horizon line. Don't worry about remembering all this stuff. But just know this is a straight line. And all of these things that are closer to us and going towards the horizon are going to, each side is going to go to a single vanishing point. I don't know if you can see these. I'll sketch these out with you, and we're going to start really simply with this one in the middle, which is just simply a square, right? And by the way, are we looking up or down at these? Can anybody tell?
We're from above.
Yeah, exactly. God, you guys are great. Jessica Pryor taught an amazing perspective workshop last month. And if you caught it, this is a lot. So here is my vanishing point for this cube, right? Because the sides are going to all meet at a single vanishing point, you draw the lines to the vanishing point first. Then I can do, I know this kind of violates what I just said. This is a anything that you're looking at from straight on perspective also is a straight line.
Oops.
So you see this? This is, if you were looking at a building from above, or a cube from above, and you were exactly in front of it and kind of above it, this is what it would look like. So step one is the square. Step two are these two lines that go to the single vanishing point at the horizon line. It's like a road, right? It's like a road. Was anybody taught how to draw this when you were a kid, right?
Yes.
right? So you know, we literally know that the road is not wider here and narrower here. We also know that the road doesn't actually physically rise up, right? It does not physically rise up off the ground. However, we are dealing with a flat 2D surface, and on a flat 2-dimensional surface, using our cone vision, which I believe our brain has developed so that it shows us when things are far away. Things that are, this is closest to us, this is farther away. So as things go farther away, these sides go farther away, they rise up and they get narrower and they go to a single vanishing point. Amazing, right? So go ahead and do that one. Tell me when you're ready. We'll go to the next one. We'll get to the building, but I love these. I love this beginning exercise. Tell me when you guys are ready. The first person who's ready, let me know, and then we'll go on to the next.
I'm
two.
ready.
All
I'm
right.
already moving to the other
You're
ones.
moving on to it. All right. So if you can see this one, I wonder if we draw these small enough, if they'll actually show up on the same page. But it's good to address this. So I'm going to draw a straight line here, line up like this, and then a line like that. So you'll notice these are not the same line. Okay, now here's the trick. Let me get another sheet of paper. Very often your vanishing point will run off the page. I'm going to show you where it would be if you could draw it, right? If I extend this, like, oops, here, hold on. So very often that will happen when you're working on a subject. You won't actually see the vanishing point on the page, but you can anticipate where that vanishing point is going to go. So I'm drawing this kind of square here, and I'm going to draw, yes. So this is the vanishing point. This will go, because these are going the same direction, they'll go to the same vanishing point. So I know how to make this angle because I know it goes to the same vanishing point as here. Got it? And same with this side. All right, we're going to have to sketch these in and then figure out if we've got them right later. This side, this line will also go to the right, that same vanishing point. So that's how we know how to make that angle. Got it? Everything's going to one vanishing point. These are all the same side. Now we have to kind of guess. Let's figure out. This goes to here. If this vanishing point goes to here, then this vanishing point will go also to here. See that? So once you kind of determine one vanishing point with one angle, now I can make my straight line like that. And then it's going to be the same here. Whoops, sorry, knocked over my sketch here. Hey, where's my, oh, I see. I don't have this sealed up from here. Hold on. Is anybody kind of tripped out in a pleasant way by this? I'm thinking this is sort of awesome. It's kind of awesome, right? And it's the same on the other side, right? We'll do this on the other side. You'll draw straight line and then a vanishing point. See if we do a vanishing point here. So actually I can just do the first two lines and draw my vanishing point here. I know automatically where my top one will go, right? It's also going to go there. And then I can draw a straight line.
Yay, Sandra, that's perfect.
Yep. It's amazing, isn't it? Here, I'll sketch this up
I'm
here.
so happy I finally understood.
Got it. It makes sense, right? Yeah,
Well,
and we have
I
to
knew
like,
about vanishing points. I just didn't know what to do with them.
right. You know, I feel the same way. I feel the same way. I feel like I heard about them and I'm like, what's the point of them? And then I'm like, oh, this actually makes life easier. So now I can do this. Right. And then I can go like this. And then I can go like that. And then straight. And then this guy goes like this. So does everybody get why this line goes this way and this line goes this way? This top of these top lines, one goes this direction, the other goes this direction. Do you get that? Because these are going in this. This is one of those things where when you sketch it out, it's like we're looking at the cube and we're breaking it apart into different shapes that help us at different times. Right? Yeah, guys, great. The key is the vanishing points can't be random, right? You can't randomly place them. You have to put them at eye level. So the first thing you have to do is locate where your eye level is. And then we'll talk about that as we go to the next exercise in a minute. And then we'll try to draw a building. A simple one. I thought we'd go to buildings and then maybe we'd do a car. And then maybe eventually we'll try a cityscape.
I'd like to be able to do a house.
Yeah. Building.
I meant like a nice old-fashioned, like a Victorian house, you know. But you need
I think
perspective.
of that as a building. I think of that as a building.
Yeah, but I mean, as opposed to a skyscraper, you know, which are all square and
Right,
you know, they have
right.
more.
Well, they have the same things are happening.
But
Just the
usually the
edges-
roofs,
The edges are
like
just a
more
little bit
complicated.
different. Yeah, we can talk about that. We'll do that this month. We'll talk about
Okay.
that. We've done a little bit of that with the barn in our last painting.
Yes,
the
exactly.
painting class, but we'll do more of that. Yeah, I figured this is worth spending some time with, breaking it up into pieces. This is beginning drawing, right? So we're trying to really get people to see, you know, how this starts. It happened because Nina said to me, I said last Sunday's class, you know, you learned how to draw a cube, right? And she said, I never learned how to draw a cube. So I was like, she said, let's have everybody draw cubes. And I thought, oh my God, that's true. Like in a way, you know how to draw a cube, but you've probably never drawn a cube like this. So yeah, let's practice this a bit. Okay. And yeah, we'll do a house. Maybe we'll do a house next week so that we can take this kind of building element to a kind of more with a roof, a structure, with a roof structure. Happy to do that.
I want to be able to do my house in pen and wash, but I haven't managed yet.
Well, you should send me a picture of your house from the front.
Okay, I will. Yeah, from the front. There's something about there's a side which kind of completely threw me. I got the
Okay.
angle completely wrong.
Send a picture to me and maybe that's what we'll draw if it's simple enough. If it's not simple enough, I might I want to reserve the right to say, oh, this might be too complicated, but you might as well
Sure.
send it. You might as well send it. And if it works, we'll do it.
Thank you.
Also, this is just a very voyeuristic way of me wanting to see what your house looks like.
The back might be easier than the front, but the front is what I want to do. You know, like these people who do these front houses.
Yeah, it's a whole thing, right? Now there's an income stream if you can do it. I personally, it's funny, I'm a cityscape painter. I don't think I could do house paintings for people.
Oh, that's a Washington bird.
Olga, looks great. This looks great. Sandra looks good. All right, I'm going to wait for 1 or 2 more people to send these in, and then we will work on the bottom construction, which is to work to practice on this building. Using a lot of paper on this one. Okay. And for those of you who did not catch Jessica's lecture, it is on the YouTube channel. So you should, if you haven't, you should go back and listen to it. Or even if you have, having practiced it some more, because I feel like perspective is one of those things that if you get it, as you get it, you kind of get it in layers. Oh, wait, I won't do this. I'm going to wait until you guys, I don't want to rush you. Just take your time to get this right. And then we'll talk about how to draw this building and these windows.
Funny how when you take a photo, you see what's wrong.
Okay, tell me, send it over. What's going on?
Yeah, who knows what's going on?
It's funny you're struggling with this one more than you normally struggle, Diana. It's always interesting for me to see that because you're normally just
Maybe it's the emotional side.
Oh, you're right. Because you missed this kitty.
Yeah.
Yep, you're right. You're right. It's sad. It's a sad painting.
No, it's not a sad painting.
But it's sadder than your
Yeah.
normal paintings. There's a sad side to it. That's all. I get it. One of the things I want to make really clear here. Oops, shit. I wonder here. Yeah. All right. Are we done playing with our cubes? Anybody else want to send something in so I can take a look? Practicing. Oh yeah. Just keep going. Maybe there's a slight I don't know. I think you should just keep going, Diana. I don't think you're.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
Mira, I don't know what's happening on this side.
Yeah.
You don't have this going to a do you see that?
Yep. It's not
These
going
go to the vanishing point. Why don't you try it? And you have this going down. They all have to go up towards the eye level and meet here in one spot.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, nice. That's so pretty. Oh yeah, Sandra, I think we can totally do this.
Oh, good. See the bit that goes in a bit. This is what threw me.
On this one?
So if you're looking at it, yes. See that part, that side there?
Yeah.
So that I was trying to do it almost front and I completely messed that up. There's an angle. So
right.
Yeah, I got the perspective completely wrong.
Part of the issue is, yeah, I think this would actually be a good thing for us. I'm going to ask you to go out and take a straighter picture.
Yes, that also threw me, the fact that my pictures are straight.
Yep. There you go. Good job, Julia. You got it. You got it. Okay. Good job. All right. Anybody else want to send theirs in before we go on? Anybody want? That's a pretty house, Sandra. It's one of those classic Washington, D.C. townhouses.
It's not actually, it's a farmhouse from 1895.
Ooh, That is
And so
wonderful.
presumably used to own a lot of land around. The one on the right is very ugly. It's the 1970s by a famous architect, but the one on the left is from the 1930s, I think.
Right. All right. Yeah, I think that would be a really fun one to draw.
Oh, cool.
So I'll just talk to you about afterwards about getting me a,
Yes, the
a
angle
slightly
that we
straighter
want.
picture, and then we'll do
Yes.
that. Okay, is anybody ready to go on to
Yes.
drawing this building down here? Okay. I'm going to move this down a little bit. I want you to be able to see it. So in this particular case, and in the case of many buildings, we're going to be looking, our eye level is going to be lower. When you're standing on the street and looking at a building, right, that's going away from you, like an apartment building, your eye level is generally pretty close to the bottom of the, so the eye level in this case, I'll just take this, is here. So the first thing you want to do is draw your eye level. And I want you to notice that the eye level doesn't exactly line up with any of the building lines. Can you see that? It actually kind of cuts straight through that lower bar of windows. This line right here. Here, I'm going to take a picture of it. It's because I drew it green so you would really see it. I'm going to take a picture of this and send it across so you can see. This green line, oops, is the eye, the green line with a
That's
little
a
bit
fierce one.
is the eye level. See this green line? That green line is the eye level. So notice that the eye level, the building comes a little bit below and mostly above the eye level. So almost everything, and notice that none of these lines are parallel. I think this is what messes people up about windows. What you want to do is do this. Here, I'll draw them in a color so you can see, right? What you want to do is draw your windows perfectly parallel like this, right? You want everything to be the same, and then you wonder why your windows don't look good, right? So what we know is that depending on where we're standing and looking at this building, the bad news is that every angle is a different angle, right? This angle is different, this angle is different, this one is different, this one is different, that one, right? This one's different, this one's different, this one's different. The higher you go, the steeper the angle. So the steeper this goes down. Notice that this is almost flat because it's very close to the vanishing point, and this is much steeper. So as you look up, the angle gets kind of more extreme. So we'll start by just drawing. See, I'm not measuring, I'm just using the ruler as a straight edge, like that, with this building. So here's eye level, horizon. And everything up here is above it, and everything down here is below it. But what we do know, and what is great, the sort of saving grace of this building, is that every line on this side will go to a single vanishing point. Every line. So once you determine the first one, you can figure out the second one. So the vanishing point. Now, the bad news is this is not actually on the paper. So how do you, kind of manage that? How do you evaluate that? I'm going to take my ruler and do this. So I know, oh, look, it's on the vanishing point. Actually, I created that on the vanishing point. Vanishing point is right here on the edge of the paper. So if I do my bottom line and it goes to here, right? I know that every other line on this side is going to go there. And that means this one. That means this one. That means here's window bank 2. Right? And then window bank 3 is interesting because it's almost through the middle of it. The top of it goes down, the bottom of it goes up. And the window line is actually right through the middle of it. The only sort of straight line is right through the middle of it. So once I do that, I can just start sketching in my windows. Notice that my windows with straight lines. Notice that my windows get bigger as I am closer. They get narrower. As I, oh, and I can also, of course, give myself my edge of my building. Edge of my building. And then the door, oh wait, I see, this is the doorway. The door comes down to the base here. I can put a little even doorknob right there. Right, and then here. So the bad news is these are all at different angles. The good news is if you can figure out the angle of one, you can figure out the angle of all of them. Go ahead and add them in. So go ahead and do that side and add little, I don't know, put little curtains in a couple of places. Maybe a little cat peeking out the window. Why not? Looks more like a mouse, but add some little, here, I'll add a dude standing here with flowers. Oh, how heteronormal of me. There we go. Here she is. Come on up. I don't know. And then, of course, you can do the same thing on the other side. I think for the moment, I am not going to blow your mind with how to measure this. I think I want you to focus on actually just getting this sketch in. Let's see how that goes today. Use it where the vanishing point is, you know. I'm not going to talk to you about how to measure when you're just looking at something. We'll do that on the next lesson. We'll deal more with like where are things in relation to each other. But this is a really just good thing to practice. Notice that your windows on this side will line up with the windows on the other side. Right? The vanishing point is here, but the windows are at the same place. I think you guys can figure this from here. This side has 4 banks of windows. Go ahead and do that. So is anybody's mind being blown right now? I found this lesson very mind blowing when I first learned it. It was really helpful.
Yeah, actually it's very interesting, but like, yeah.
Right? Before you were sort of trying to guess it.
Oops.
Right before we were just trying to like guess and figure out what was going right. We're like, I think it's going like this. Probably intellectually, we were trying to make these as wide as this. Right now we know that everything is going to line up with this one point on this side. And that means none of these lines are the same. Now, as you get more into it, of course, you're going to have to start measuring. But at least knowing that they all go to the same point, I think is really helpful. It helps you to kind of see and structure and construct. Oops, what happened there? I'm using the back camera, which I thought would be a better, wait, oh, I see, there's paint on there. What's going on? I don't know why it's blurry. Maybe I'm gonna leave the meeting and come back. Hang on, because it's blurry and I don't know why.
Wow.
What's that?
Just messed me up.
Sorry, Cyrus. I have to like stop and wait. Maybe I'll just put it back. It's looking blurry. Hold on. I need to leave the meeting and come back. Leave the meeting, come back. 1 second. Okay. Let's see. Come here, you. There we go. Okay, let's try this again. Nope. Try it again. Sorry, guys. Ah! Mother. Okay. Hold on. Where am I? There it is. Okay, here. Let me move this over.
Hey, no.
There we go. Sorry, I'll get you guys a copy of this. A picture of this on the thread, so you've got it too.
Hey. Stance.
There we go. Up here. Yep. Oh, you already have that photo. Let's see. I'll take this picture.
No.
That works, Olga. So now go ahead and decorate your building. You
Yeah,
can
for
add a
sure.
little door, put some bricks on it, do some things to it. Yeah, Julia, that's it. So in this case, Julia, you kind of put at your eye level, you put the windows kind of above. Did you see that? The eye level? In this particular sketch, you have the windows at this bank of windows kind of just above. So the straight line is here. I mean, it still works, but I want you to be, or actually you have them all above the eye level.
Yeah.
In this sketch, the eye level actually runs through the middle of this lowest window bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it has a more extreme, right? It's like let's see, what that would be like you're standing on your tiptoes or maybe standing on a ladder bit and looking down. Just to be aware of that.
That's good.
right?
It does
Now-
blur your mind.
Right? And I think you resisted doing this because it cuts up like a plane that you think of as one thing.
I
So,
think when I just put my lines in, I was like, oh, I've put too many lines in, so I kind of rubbed one
right,
out.
so you rubbed it out and then you wanted your lines to kind of match with, right? Like what? So,
No, no.
yeah.
Hey, get over here.
Oh, yes. So one of the things I want you to notice is that often I'll be asking you to bisect things in a way that doesn't feel natural to the thing, right? I like to think of drawing a lot like taking apart a car engine. Not that I know how to do that. I really wish I knew how to do that, but I can tell that taking apart a car engine has a lot of these same components. I have to think of not just this bank of windows. I've got to think about the eye level. I have to think about the bottom of the bank of windows and the top of the bank of windows. So at various points, I'm going to be looking at this and breaking it up into pieces that feel unnatural, right, to your left brain. So the less you think about what the thing is and the more you kind of just look at the shapes, the easier it gets. I really wish I should probably take a car mechanics course because I'd probably really like it, or it would be really hard, or, you know, whatever. I imagine that's how a good wrencher, which is what they call, I don't know if they call these in other countries, but a car, like a person who's good with car engines is called a wrencher, as in WRENCHER, a wrencher. And that's because they're in wrenching, pulling things in and out. I just think I just have such a deep respect for that skill. So Nina, that's pretty good. What I will tell you is you did the same thing Julia did, which is that you decided to put your eye level at the bottom of the windows. In reality, the eye, at least on this side, in reality, part of this bottom bank of window, the sort of eye level goes right through the middle of this window line. So it's, this line is a little bit angled on top. This line is angled on the bottom.
Okay.
Going up to the same vanishing point.
Okay.
Good job.
This is hard though. I mean, it's
Of
easy,
course.
but hard. Yeah.
Of course. Yes, it's hard. It's hard because you're intellectually trying, what I was just saying, right? That you're used to thinking about this bank of windows as one thing. And I've just divided it in half for you. Half of it is under the eye level, half of it is over.
Yeah. Okay.
It's key that knowing where things start to go up versus where they are going down is going to help you later. Now, if you guys finish this, I have another exercise for you that I'll just put in the chat and you can do it. Here, hold on. So those of you who are finished with this can do, I'll just put it in the chat and you can do it in the chat. Where is it? I took a picture of it. Yeah, nice, Sandra. There you go.
Some animals in the windows.
Yes, I love it. I love it. You can do, let's see. Oh, darn, I didn't take a picture of it. Here, I'll take a picture of it and put it across. I had a picture of it. This is the one on the other page. It's kind of a sort of a landscapey thing. Does anybody still need this drawing? You probably do, don't you? What should I do? Should I put this drawing up here, this road drawing up
next
here?
to it. Yes, because it has the other one on the right anyway.
Yep. Oh, good point. All right, so I'll just do this. So this is that same drawing, just bigger. In fact, this is all of the 3 drawings we've done today. So now go ahead and find your vanishing, this is your vanishing point right here. your eye level, where your eye level is, and everything comes either above or below it. So try, this is, I think, the natural progression. Isn't this a fantastic, I love this book so much. As you can see, I actually tore the page out because I use it all the time. There are certain things, and I'm not saying this will help you. And it's funny, some things she does are terrible. So like some of the things in the book are just absolutely god awful. So those of you who are finished can try sketching this. Oops, let me make it more. Those of you who are still working on the building, you'll see the building here. You're going to start with this line, your vanishing point. Your vanishing point is not going to be at the halfway point. Notice it's below the halfway point. It's almost a thirds. For perspective reasons, for painting reasons, exciting painting reasons, vanishing points are never at the halfway point of a painting or a drawing. That's considered really amateur. And here, I'll take a picture of it so it's even bigger, since I've got it here, and send that across the thread as well. And this will keep you, this is wonderful. So your next job is to sketch this if you've finished. Notice we've got the bottoms and the tops of clouds. Notice we're going to be able to deal with these fence posts. Yeah, Julia, you got it. It's perfect. Jump onto this one. You've got it. I love this lesson. This is so great. I realize I haven't been able to do some of the deep, like, you know, beginning stuff because I hadn't had a place where we could just continue to be doing beginning drawing all year. And I'm really appreciating the opportunity to be able to do this. We're really going to be able to get into it. And next week we'll draw Sandra's farmhouse. We'll see how that applies.
I'm gonna have to leave you soon.
Oh, Diana. All right.
My well, not quite yet.
Okay.
My husband is doing some shoot in the house, so that's why I have silver clothing on me right now. So I have to go out.
Yay! Yay!
What's he shooting?
Oh, some scene.
Yay!
For
His movie, for his latest movie?
no, for somebody else's.
Oh, got
Good,
it.
good, good.
Interesting.
Yay, have a good time.
Yeah.
You'll be all day going to bed at 2 this morning.
No.
My boyfriend is a stagehand, and he recently worked on a commercial where his job, it was a 30-second commercial with no words. We don't even know what the commercial was really about. And it was just 3 scenes where walls had to be moved during the scene. And it took 9 hours.
Yeah.
9 hours. 9 hours.
For one scene.
And we can't even figure out what the commercial was about. We don't even know like what the commercial was for. It's impossible to tell. Like I could tell you what the scene was, but none of us could figure out. Like, and my boy, like I would have asked, of course, I would have been like, what's this commercial about? And figured it out, but he doesn't care. So he's just like, I don't know. Nobody asked. We just sat there and moved walls for 9 hours.
If you enjoy it, it's
He likes being a stagehand. It's been a rough year, of course, right? Like it's been a rough year. But I think we're feeling hopeful about the work coming back eventually.
Oh, it is coming back now.
Yeah.
It's coming back.
Yeah.
different way, but it's coming back.
Different way, right?
Coming back.
And probably more TV. Probably
Yeah.
more TV.
It's different, but it'll be.
Yeah, the question will be, what will happen to rock shows and live theater?
Then we come back
is the
to
question, but
But
how
I
it'll
mean-
look.
There are so many venues that folded.
Well, that's true. And like a rock show, I mean, the main things that have to happen are the musician
audience.
and all their stuff
And an
have to be
audience.
right. But like that's not the stagehand's issue as much as the packing the musicians and their stuff onto stage, right? And then getting it off into the truck after the show. So that stuff should stay pretty similar.
Loading out. Loading.
They just did like a 3,000 person rave here yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, in Liverpool. Yeah, they made
Whoops.
Oh, wow.
they made everybody take a COVID test 24 hours before, and
Uh-huh.
then like, all packed
Wow.
in, no masks, no nothing, like just a huge petri dish.
That sounds so stupid that I can't. Oh my God. Like,
This
is India not an example of
It's
like,
an experiment to figure out what's safe or not, and these people are kind of volunteers.
Oh,
And they
wow.
another
Oh
test
my-
in 5 days. and
That's
see-
interesting.
God, I would never do that. I would never do it. But the truth is, I'd
I
never
think
do that
the
anyway.
youngsters feel invincible, you know.
Yeah.
Right. But the
Yeah.
problem
Interesting thing.
is, the
The
problem
new
is
variants attack the youngsters.
exactly. Those are the worst one. And they're the least likely to be vaccinated.
Mm,
Right. I know.
mhm.
It's terrible.
That's the scary part. Some people refuse to get vaccinated.
I know. And then people aren't, and then what's happening in India is just, Rashmi was telling us yesterday that like her apartment block has been designated a high. So
Risk.
people are only allowed to go out 2 hours a day in the morning to the market. And but in her building, so many people have COVID that at her complex, there's like, I don't know, what did she say? 1,500, 2,000 people there, 2,000 families.
Jeez.
No
Yeah, I
one,
think he said
And they're all
1,800. Yeah.
infected. The
1,800.
whole
No,
thing
no
is
one,
infected.
no one can leave at all.
No, but they have enough cases that they want to do this.
Yeah, no one
Not
can
for whole
leave
building.
Oh my
because the
gosh.
building has so many cases.
Oh
really
my
They seal the
stressful.
goodness.
buildings usually in India. That's what happens. My
Yeah.
brother's building is sealed too.
Really?
Yep. They
Oh.
like he
Where's your
just
brother,
left.
Mira?
He's in Bombay. He just left for India.
Mumbai.
3 weeks. Yeah, Mumbai. Sorry. When I came here, it was Bombay, so I still say Bombay.
I know a lot of them say Bombay, but my girls say Mumbai.
Yes, I have all my my sister and my brother is in Bombay, and his apartment is locked down too because they had few cases, so they can't get out.
Right.
Mm.
Yep. It's
Shit.
very scary.
You
Oh my
must be
gosh.
really worried. You must be really worried. I'm so
Stressed about,
sorry.
yeah, it's
have-
so stressful. Bless your
We have
heart.
lost few families, and it's not.
It's
not
awful.
Oh, honey.
It's
Yeah.
Bless your
awful.
heart.
It's awful.
Yep,
It's so
it
awful.
is.
I'm so sorry, Mira. It's just terrible.
Yep. It's sad. It's very sad.
Yeah, bless your heart. I'm so sorry.
Yep.
I'll put them on my altar.
Yes. Let's put India on our altar.
Yep.
Let's pray.
It's a bad month.
It's awful.
Mm.
And that's why no one should be going to a rave in Liverpool right now.
I know.
It's like,
This is like, are you kidding me?
yeah.
You know
Is
what?
this the time to be making this decision? There you go, Nina. That's fun. Try doing this. Starting with your vanishing point, your eye level of horizon is here, and then building off that.
Okay, thanks.
Good job.
Mm.
Yes, and then we'll move to a real house next week.
We all
I love
will move
buildings.
in with Sandra.
We're all going to move in with Son. Yeah, she's got room. Well, I don't know if the cats would let us. The cats would probably like it. It'd be entertaining for them.
Well,
Mm.
last time I had a guest when somebody had to stay with me after the first surgery, and they were very excited.
Oh,
I bet they
honey.
were.
I mean,
and
so was
maybe a little
I.
nervous. You were too.
Well, because we hadn't had a guest, in like ages.
And maybe
And
Rabbit.
so nice.
Maybe Rabbit hasn't ever even known
Did they
it.
like
Well, no,
it?
certainly Dragon has never
Dragon.
seen one, and probably Rabbit either.
How did they
So
do after everybody left? How did they
I think they
respond?
were surprised it was so short. But they were okay. I wondered whether Dragon was going to go sleep with a guest who had to leave a door open in case something happened to me during the night. Unfortunately, the guest, it turned out, and I didn't realize that when she accepted, it was allergic to cats.
Oh my
Oh, wow.
Oh.
But she was
Poor
okay.
thing.
Lots
But
of
do-
antihistamine there, huh?
Sorry?
Lots of antihistamine there.
Yes, exactly. But she did fine. I only heard her sneezing once.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a house guest right now.
Oh, but the cat is terrified, right?
Yeah, the cat is terrified of the
Not
No,
Are they
actually,
bad?
actually today she was okay. Today she accepted him, so now she's fine again.
Oh, good.
But the first few days she was hiding.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't handle like changes very well, do they? They get weird, cats do.
They
around.
like to get into, yeah, it's true. They get into habits.
I know Hermes is jumpy, but he still likes people. I think because he doesn't have other cats to play with right now, he sort of just goes automatically to people for entertainment. So he'll go right to, at least to people he knows, people he sees.
Yeah, that's the thing. They take a while to know, to get to trust people. It's only Bengals too, very much.
Right.
And they don't like to be picked up by strangers.
Who does?
Well,
From the one
It depends on the stranger.
the first time my neighbor came years ago, he's a very tall chap. And Tiger, my wild one, was sitting on the fridge looking at him, and he picked him up, and Tiger was like snarling and like, how dare you?
Wow. Little shitheads.
It's to be respected.
Yeah.
It's like
Right.
respect. Give me respect.
Particularly the wild one. I mean,
Guys, I'll be right back. Give me 2 minutes. Hi, Osiris. Did you come in? You came in a little bit late, right? On this lesson? Okay, so one of the things I want to point out to you is that this line, which we established first, is our horizon line.
Okay, I think
Okay.
it's time for me to leave.
Okay. Bye, Diana. Have fun.
Bye, Diana.
And
Bye.
Osiris, every single line that's above the horizon line on this side comes to this same vanishing point on the line, right? So this
Yeah,
is how the windows are structured. They're structured within, let's see here. They're structured, the top of this window goes to this single point, and I see your, and then anything that's below the vanishing point, which is the bottom of this window line and the bottom of this, also comes up to the same vanishing point on this side and the same
Oh,
vanishing
okay.
point on this side. So you start
Okay.
by drawing the straight line, and then every angled line on this side.
Oh, I started at the top.
No, yeah, well, it doesn't matter whether you start at the top or the
I
bottom.
did.
But
Uh-huh.
like this has to go to a spot where the angle of where this line,
Oh,
and
okay.
continuing it meets on the horizon line, everything goes to that point.
Okay.
So that's. Sure, that looks great. Oh, Olga. That looks great.
Oh, wow.
Olga, I don't really have anything else for you to sketch right now.
Yeah,
So
but I would be still coloring this building. I'm happy to do this. I feel like
wonderful.
you know,
Yes.
coloring book now.
Yes, yes. Fun. Mira, that looks great. You got it.
Thank you.
Sandra, these
Yes.
lines are coming above. These lines are coming above the horizon line. These things are not below.
Oh, okay. I hate
Wait,
it
sorry,
doing that.
I'm sorry. I'm pointing to something that you can't
No,
even see.
You're
Yeah.
Here you
absolutely
go.
right. I know exactly
Right,
what
I'm
you're talking
sorry.
about.
You're
talking about
pointing to
landscape.
something. You brought those, like, I mean, they're half, the bottom half is going down, but the top half is coming up.
So, yeah.
So just erase this thing that's happening here and
Huh.
move that up.
So the center point is way back there at the end where the cloud is up above.
Nope.
That's
The
the
center
point of
point
center.
is the center, the horizon line is where the land meets the sky, right? That's your eye level. So in this case, so in the building, it's down here at the bottom. But
In
here,
that case, it's the center, right?
yeah, yep, exactly. In this case, everything goes to, that's going away, goes to this vanishing point.
That center.
Yep, that center point.
Oh, I
which
see
is-
it. I see it. I see
See,
it.
so this is like where the land, the sky meets the land.
Uh-huh.
And that is what we call your eye level horizon.
Okay, yeah.
So
Looks pretty.
Yeah, I'm burning the candle at both ends.
what's going on?
I'm just super busy.
I can see that.
I'm halfway through my second book and on to my third one.
All
I have a
right.
publishing contract, and then I have 2 art shows this month. I have May 1st to July 31st with the Barnesville Art Center here in LA. They're promoting me as one of the featured artists this time. And
Mhm.
then I also am exhibiting at the Hammond still for them. For what, and then they're doing an intention flag project for some organization in Brookfield, Connecticut. And then I've been invited or nominated for the Norval Sovereign competition or submission in Cape Town, South Africa. I think I mentioned that to you.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
exciting.
And I'm a
so
dog.
happening to you.
I'm a dog owner, a May, a wife, a friend of those that don't have friends. I mean, I got it going over here. It's busy. And then I have my 15-minute interview show that I do once a month, and I just finished that.
Nice. Congratulations. That's really awesome.
Yeah. I know, but it's like, why did this happen when I'm older? Like when I was younger?
And had more energy. It's because you're more
No,
skilled
it's not
now.
even the energy. It's just that I have the energy, but it's just that why did it happen now when I'm like much older? I'm like, okay, I've got another, what, 30, 40 years max and I'm out, you know?
Chop, chop. The clock is ticking. That's
what
how I feel.
That's how I look at it. Yeah, chop, chop.
The clock,
is ticking.
That's how I feel. Having
You have to
discovered
feel
that
it. Because it's true, yeah.
I'm kind of
Whereas
thinking.
I have the energy, I just don't have any time for any BS. I don't have time for people's problems or personal. Yeah, I don't have that kind of time anymore. But I have, you know, I've got energy to do what I'm doing for what my mission is here on the planet. Like this morning, I'm late because I had to turn in a submission to something.
Let's see.
It takes a minute to upload it and all of that.
Okay, Sandra, something's off here. I want you to think about
I think
it.
what happened is my horizon line.
You've made this too dramatic. Look,
I know.
Yeah.
got all of these down. Yes. So this needs to go. Yes. Number one, your horizon line is too big, but too tall. But number two, look at where you're ending. This line is not down here on this bottom edge.
Ah, okay,
It's
that's
here.
easy fix.
And the same over here. Okay. The same over here. This, you
Oh,
have
I'm
it
not
down
gonna fix
here
it.
like this. It's actually on the edge, on this left edge is where yeah. So
Sorry. I don't know what you mean there by the edge. Let me
look
look
at,
at the.
it's the
Let me
edge.
look
Look at where look at where I'm pointing. You have this one. You also have coming down like this. This is where you have your fence line.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to redo the fence line, but I can do the other one.
I'd
I'm
redo
done
the
doing
fence
it.
line if, well, we got plenty of time.
I just can't be bothered. It's not
Okay.
that fun, you know.
Yeah, that's true. But just be aware of that you made the same mistake on this
Well,
side.
the
that you
problem
did
is
on
I'm
that side.
using the other piece of a paper, so I don't have that much room.
Ah,
See,
got it.
look.
Got it. Oh, yeah. I see it.
So that's partially why.
Yeah. But it's just like paying attention. So I guess I'm just saying, pay attention
No, you're right.
to
I messed
those,
that up.
because it's easy to get in. That's the pattern making left brain mind that wants everything to be the same, in the same place, kind of right next to each other, right? Like,
Yeah, look, I
so-
guess I'm working on a narrow piece of paper.
well, it's like you're standing on top, just as long as you know it's a different perspective than what you're drawing. You're like on a, like you're coming down in a, like you're coming down in a parachute or something, is how you drew it. You're up higher.
Right, yeah.
Or you're down, or no, actually it's more like you're laying on the ground looking up. Because the eye level
I think
is
I'm
higher.
above. Anyway.
That's the funnest thing, Leona.
All right.
You can really see that point looks way back there.
It is. Yep. That's the vanishing point. So everything has to start right at different angles.
To that point.
Everything goes to that point, above and below. There you go, Julia. You got it. Good job. So
Don't do it again.
yeah, no, don't do it again. You got it. Color it in. I have nothing else for you guys today. I want you to sort of work on this. So play with this. We can end a little early. You can end a little early if you want to. Let's see. But this is the beginning of dealing with, let's see. Okay, so Nina, you did the same thing. So you did two things here. Okay, this is okay on this side. So you're actually, Nina, what's happening here is you're having a problem drawing a straight line. None of these are straight.
I also used a ruler though.
Well, that doesn't mean that you had your ruler straight.
Oh, that
your
makes
ruler
sense.
is at an angle. So unless you're measuring each side at the top and the bottom, you don't actually know. So so you did the same thing Sandra did. The one thing you did is the same thing Sandra did. I want you to look at here, hold on, I'll put this here.
The problem with our posts is that they're not vertical.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
does
No,
it have-
it's not just that the posts are, let me get here. So there's one, I'll get there. So there's two things wrong with the fence on this side. The one thing is that these lines need to be on the edge, the left edge of the paper, not down here at the bottom where you have them. These start
Oh.
and end here. Yes, you got to pay attention to the edges of what's happening. And these lines are horizontal and not vertical. And then these lines aren't straight. So you need to erase these lines
Mhm.
and you need to erase, I want you to start over with the fence. So erase the fence and start over with the fence starting here on this left edge, not on the bottom.
Okay,
Right?
okay, now it makes sense. Yeah.
Yep.
Is that why they drew a square?
Yes.
Okay. Most obvious thing? Okay.
Yes. I mean, everything has to be contained in something, right? So this is actually not a square. It's more like a kind of fat rectangle. But
Okay.
yes, everything has to have a border, right? And you have to pay attention to where things hit on the border, not just where you'd like them to start. So they're showing you where these things kind of start and end. Some here, some down here. And it's easy to kind of forget that. And so erase these straight lines. And I want you, if you need to, Nina, you can measure on the bottom and the top in like 1 inch measurements, right? You can mark them here and then up here. Sorry, up here.
Okay.
At the top of the paper in the same place, so you can line up your ruler and have it be straight if you're struggling to see what straight is.
Yeah, I'm struggling. for
You're
sure,
struggling to see
yeah.
what straight is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So measure the top and the bottom at the same place where you want to draw the line, and then line up your ruler with the top and the bottom. Just like when we're making a grid, you do
Okay.
that, and that'll help you. Because what's happening is you're doing, and then I'll just, I don't mean to be, so you're holding your ruler, but you're holding your ruler like this.
If I can see it when you're holding up your ruler, I can't see it when I'm holding mine. For
Yeah,
whatever
something's-
reason.
So it's just a practice of, you know, just getting used to seeing things, you know, getting used to using your tools and perhaps being able to see visually what's happening. I think you're kind of just following. What's happening is you're drawing a line and you're following.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I just think you're getting a little distracted by these lines here. And what you want to do is just be like, okay, straight, and measure. If you can't, you can just measure this thing too, right? I can measure here is a 1/4 of an inch from here. I can come up here and measure a 1/4 of an inch. You don't have to do your whole paper. Then I can line these up and draw a
Okay.
straight line.
Okay, that helps.
Yeah.
I think I'm paying attention. It turns out I'm really not. That's what's interesting.
It's not, you drift a lot. I noticed that you drift a lot and when you're drawing. I do notice that you have a kind of a short attention span. So this is good for you because we're going to be, because I'm training you up. Mira, that looks great.
Oh no, I have a very short attention span. So that's why this
Yes.
is a challenge for me.
But you're doing great. You're doing
Thanks.
great. So just keep, yes. So yeah. It's just the paying attention. What you have to pay attention to is not just what you're drawing, but where it ends and where it begins. What is around it? What are the boundaries? What's next to it? Right? Drawing and painting, you're thinking about your whole composition all the time and you're evaluating all the time. And it's easy. It's hard work. It requires a lot of focus and concentration. I have a feeling, Nina, the more you do it, the better you're going to be at it. So it's just a practice.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think so. Yeah, it's just carving out the time to do it. So
I've been seeing you, so you've been coming on a lot. So
yeah, I just think too, it's the practice, right? I'm always impressed when, you know, others in the class finish what they're doing or try and do it again. And it's finding that time to do it. I'm not finding it yet. So
well, you show up to 2 to 3 classes a week.
yeah.
Okay. So that's 6 hours. That is 6 hours. That is what I recommend you do if you're working full time. This is a good moment for me to talk about this. So for those of you who work full time, my recommendation is that if you can fit 6 hours of class time in a week, that's enough. Now, if you can, that's your bottom baseline. Now, once you can fit in 6 hours a week comfortably, you might want to jump that up to 8. You might want to jump that up to 10. You can maybe even jump it up to 12 when you become really obsessive. But remember, you work full time. So my recommendation for hours spent doing this, Nina, you're doing it, you're just in class all the time. That's okay.
That's good to know. That's good. Because I was told by a friend, oh, you still don't know how to draw. They go, you should be spending hours doing it. Stop all the other classes that you're doing. And I said, no, but it's, yeah.
I mean, I'm giving you the bottom baseline.
Yeah.
I'm giving you the bottom baseline. As long as you're doing, for people who work full time, if you do 6 hours a week, that's fine. Now, most of the people, having said that, my real goal is to get you up to 12 hours a week. But I want you to have a bottom baseline that's manageable and doable. Do you know what my bottom baseline is for studio hours each week? And I'm a
For you
full-time
personally?
artist. Yeah, for me personally, what would you guess it is?
30 hours?
16.
Very
16.
close, Osiris, 12. I only require that I be in the working in the studio on paintings 12 hours a week. I never get that low. Most of the time I spend 30 to 50 hours a week painting.
15.
But yes, you need to give
You're
yourself a
always on.
low number so that I don't beat myself up if I only can do 12 hours. So it's very important because it can be really, and this is a long game, you guys. This is not a short, this is a long game.
That's
It's a lifetime commitment.
Yep.
Because I haven't got enough time.
Right. So those of you who are, I haven't ever given this little talk before, so I will give it now. Those of you who are working, give yourself a 6-hour minimum. If you can put in 6 hours a week of art time, that's enough. That's enough as a beginning. Once you get used to that, see if you can add a 7th hour. See if you can add an 8th hour. For some of you, this is going to be easy. For some of you, this will be hard, just depending on what else you have going on, depending on like how challenging, right? But if you can keep it short. So my baseline, and I'm a professional artist and I do this full time, is only 12 hours a week. I can't remember the last time that happened. I mean, particularly since the pandemic, but my average is probably 30 hours a week. Because sometimes I go up to 50 and sometimes I'm down to like 20. But most of the time I see it. My average is probably about 30 a week painting. Right now more.
Do you include the lessons?
No.
So that's why you're spending so much time on lessons. How could you on top of that?
Well, no, I usually do 30 hours on top of lessons. That's my normal
That's what I mean.
schedule.
It's massive, right?
Yeah. So I recognize that I run a business that requires me to spend, yes, absolutely. And that's the same for you guys. Right? I run a business that requires I do things. I mean, what's nice about this is I get to draw and paint when I'm with you, which is really nice. I have to say that's a really fantastic part of the lesson, but I'm not working on my show that I have to get ready for in 4 weeks when I'm with you, right? I'm not doing those things. I have to do that outside. Yeah, that's exactly right. And I kind of, maybe that's partly why it's okay for me that my low baseline in the studio with my own work is 12, because I know that even though I'm spending another, 15 hours a week teaching, I know that I'm still drawing and painting when I'm teaching. So that is like,
look how badass women are, I tell you.
Yeah, right.
I'm so impressed. I'm like, women are badass. Oh my gosh, we have full-time jobs and we're being wives and we're being lovers and we're being mamas.
That's
Everybody
right.
ain't got no mama and all that. I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's right.
I don't know how we
do it.
Geez, so you're doing all of that and still got, and you got a husband and a cat and all that, right? And relatives. And
yep,
family
lots of relatives, and I run a nonprofit, and I do a lot of things. So yeah, it's like I pretty much work all the time. And
me too.
Yeah, and I really do try to get in the studio to create. I'd say 30 hours a week is a good week for me, but I recognize I can't always do it.
Do you break I've had to try to break my days up. Like, okay, today I'm gonna do my show, blah, 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 I'm gonna do my research. Then tomorrow, oh yeah, I'll do my painting because I'm oil paint. So while they're drying, I do my other stuff. You know what I mean? I write and stuff.
I have a very, very strict schedule I keep to.
You have to, yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be
I have a
disciplined.
pretty script schedule. I have stuff I do between 6 and 8 in the morning. I have stuff I do between, just depending on what else I have to do. I work
Mhm.
in my time around it. And like I
Yeah.
said, now I'm kind of under pressure.
Yeah, but
Okay.
when I get under pressure, don't you find that you work, for some reason, it pushes me to excel when I get a little bit of pressure.
Yes. Nina, look,
Okay.
this is supposed to be, these lines are supposed to be straight up and down.
I still don't get it. It's really bizarre.
Okay,
Yeah.
what is the trouble here? Can you see the difference? I'm holding them right next to each other. So
Oh, it
here's
looks-
what your lines are doing, and this is what this line is doing.
It looks like the wind blew over mine, and
Because you haven't drawn it straight up and down, you're drawing it at an angle. You need to go vertically, straight up and down. Straight up and down.
oh, the lines within the thing.
These lines need to be,
Yeah.
these lines are fine. The long lines are
The
fine.
long lines are fine.
The posts are
Okay.
straight up and down.
Okay, I think I got it now.
Okay,
Yeah.
try it.
okay,
Try
I
it
think
again.
I got it.
You're
Sorry.
almost
Yeah.
there. No, it's okay. It's just what you're doing is you're too much following what you think is happening. You're too slanting. Everything that's vertical is straight up and down.
Okay.
It's only the horizontal lines that go at angles. All the vertical lines straight up and down. And you will see it when you draw it, just straight up and down.
If I can.
We'll get
Oh,
there.
okay. I think I kind of get it now. Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Drawing is not intuitive for me, so I find I struggle quite a bit.
Yeah, I think you just haven't been trained in I think there's two things happening. I think one is you're struggling to see what's actually going on. You're very left brain. So you're trying to interpret what's happening rather than actually seeing what's happening. And I think the second thing is it's a tool thing. You're getting used to using the tool, the pencil, right? I imagine you are very quick on the computer and with your data sets. I imagine you're very, very quick with those. So that's not the same skill as what we're practicing right now.
Yeah, that's very apparent to me.
Hey, this is beginning drawing, man. Don't worry
She's
about
brave,
it.
exactly.
This is where you're supposed to make this and where I can talk to you about what's happening.
Yes.
So what's happening is your left brain is trying to create little patterns that don't really exist.
Oh, it
on the
freezes. It
space.
absolutely freezes. Like when you say stuff, my brain just goes blank. It's amazing.
Isn't that interesting? So this is very good for you. This is very good for you. And I'm not being, by the way, I'm not in any way looking down on this. No, neither is anybody else. We're impressed that you're here trying to tackle it. So
But she's trying, exactly.
Do not worry about
Badass.
Don't worry about it. It's just that this line is trickier to draw. It's trickier to understand. Anyway, I don't know how to say it. This is a visual spatial understanding that you are just starting to learn. And that is different than any other logic system than you've been taught before. So yeah, your left brain is just resisting. If you're a data set person, if you're an analysis person, you have numbers and tables and things like that in your head. The numbers can dance around and you can manipulate those. But this is a different skill. This is how do I estimate what this shape is compared to this shape? What's straight? What's going back? I've told you that these lines go diagonally back. So you keep thinking all the lines as they go back have to go diagonally, right? You're taking an instruction and you're applying it too far. So that shows me a person who's very adept at left brain analytical thinking, but somebody who has a kind of a beginner at right brain thinking.
Oh,
Do you
yeah,
know
no
what I'm
one's
saying?
taught me drawing ever, so this is fun, actually. I like
Yeah.
challenges. Yeah.
And I really appreciate that. I think you're saying a lot of things that other people are experiencing, but they're just not saying it. So-
I hope so. I feel like I'm not the only one. I hope. Yeah.
You're not the only one. You're not the only one. Almost, Nina, almost. This is
Almost,
still
okay.
not straight. I want you to look. It's you're trying to kind of lean in. This is literally straight up and down. I'm gonna
Okay. Okay.
listen. Do you
Okay.
see this? Look, if I hold if I hold this is straight,
Oh, okay. That helps a lot more. Yeah.
right?
Okay.
This is
Yeah.
straight, 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 straight,
Parallel with the edge
straight
of
up
the
and down.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
It was hard, that one. The fence was really hard because, of course, you've got the vanishing point as well. So you're trying to make it go straight
You
up
just
and down.
feel like everything should be, and the truth is all the vertical lines are straight up and down. Yeah, you're trying to follow that. If it's not, you're just applying a rule too widely, right? You're applying the rule of horizontal lines to the vertical lines. And the rule of horizontal lines, the vertical lines is different than the rule to horizontal lines.
Hey, there are not a lot of shadows on this one.
What's that? This is just strictly to talk about how to
Perspective.
structure, perspective. We'll deal with shadows and shit like that next week. Also, that was at the beginning of the lesson. So it'll be on the video. Let's see. Mira, nice work.
God, I hear a big
Mira,
party in
I
there.
want you to notice that these clouds have a top and a bottom. So
Okay.
this part is light. This
Okay.
part on top is white, and I can't really see that in your
Okay.
sketch.
Yeah.
So go ahead and make that a little bit more clear. Good job. Otherwise, great. Wait till we get to figure drawing in June.
Oh.
Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is going to be figure drawing. Beginning drawing will stay the same. So don't worry, we'll keep doing things.
But are you going to do
simply.
figure drawing and beginning drawing on Saturday? Because that's what I only did.
No, probably not. I might do pieces of it, but no, I want to keep things simple and straightforward in beginning drawing. Not that figure drawing can't be done by beginners, but I'm going to deal with other constructs and concepts in beginning drawing.
So you'll tell us when we're ready for figure drawing?
No, you can just decide to go to figure drawing. I'm just saying
okay.
I'm not going to do it in beginning drawing.
Oh,
I'm going to be doing it on Wednesday, Thursday, and Fridays. So
What time, Leah?
all the times that are in the schedule.
Okay.
You guys have the schedule?
Yeah.
Same
Yeah,
schedule as always. Same schedule as always. The schedule will remain the same. What is watercolor now will become figure drawing.
Okay.
One
Yeah.
figure drawing in watercolor.
You can do figure drawing in watercolor. I think you're going to find yourself very caught up with much better, Nina, much better.
Also, figure
Okay.
drawing is much
Thank you.
easily done in charcoal, right? But doesn't
Yeah.
mix well with watercolors.
Yes, I am actually getting ready to release a supply list to you guys for what you'll need for the second half of the year. I'll send it
Okay.
out. For those of you who've been with me for a year already, you probably have most of the supplies, but for those who don't, you'll want to get a package, and my local art supplies store will send you everything at, like, I don't know, 10 or 15% off. So, Nina, much better. Much better. Do you see it? So
I see it now.
right?
Yeah.
Just straight. So these also have to be straight.
Okay.
Straight. Try it on the other side.
Okay.
Okay. And can you feel why your mind was wanting to angle along with these? That's what was happening. You're
Yeah.
struggling to see the straight against the horizontal angles. So the vertical straight, you were still following these lines too much. That was the problem. So you kept feeling like you to follow because these lines were at an angle, everything else had to be in an angle, but this is straight up and down. You
It
got
is
it.
still counterintuitive because my brain doesn't want to draw like that.
It's not counterintuitive once you get used to it, but yes,
Okay.
it is it is obviously counterintuitive now. You want to follow a lean when there is none. So the rule to remember is vertical lines are straight up and down. When you're dealing with perspective issues, it's only the horizontal lines that angle. The vertical lines are straight up and down.
Okay. Yeah,
Just
that
like
makes-
these vertical lines were straight up and down, and
It's a
every
mercy,
single
isn't it?
window side straight up and down. Everything that vertically went down was not at an angle. It was straight up and down.
Yeah.
It looks like an angle naturally because these are getting narrower. So you don't have to do that. You just have to do the straight up and down lines. Everything straight, 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 vertical, 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 straight, vertical, 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 vertical. Straight, 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 all the way up and down. Just say that in your head. It's got to be straight.
Right. Okay. I gotta write it
Straight.
down.
The verticals are straight. The horizontals are slanted.
That makes it much easier, doesn't it? At least one of them is straight.
Yeah, that one of them is just straight up and down. It makes it totally easy when you think about it like that. Like you don't have to try and figure out an angle. It's just straight up and down. All right, you guys, we're at the end of class. I'm going to pull off the spotlight and see you in gallery view. So I hope you all got something out of this class. This was a basic class talking about pretty conceptual. And I think those of you, even those of you who've been doing this a while, learned something new about, right? Olga's like, my head just blew up. Yes, I had my mind blown. So don't worry, as you're getting introduced to these concepts, like how, don't worry at when and how they settle. I'm going to keep bringing them back to you and showing you how to apply them to real things. But it's important to understand how they work. What is a straight line? What's an angled line? What needs to be straight? What needs to be angled, right? Where do I stop and end those straight and angled lines? Paying attention to what's happening on the sides of your drawing as well as what's happening on the bottom and the top of your drawing, right? All of those things are key. You have to pay attention to everything, or you don't get it right. So anyway, that's my job, is to help you start to see that.
You're doing
Done a
it.
great
You're
job.
doing it.
Great
Thank
work,
you.
everybody.
You're doing a great job. Thank you so much. You're so patient.
Thank you. Of course, that's my
You're
job.
great.
And there is no pastel landscapes class tomorrow. Just to remind you, Marie has another engagement. So I think a long, like reserved fishing trip or something like that. She's tried,
That
she doesn't
sounds
have
fun.
any current. Yes, I think she totally deserves it. Talk about doing art. Marie is a full-time assessor for her county, and she
Woo.
still teaches art on Sundays and manages to get a lot of, art time.
Woo.
Has a pretty
Wow.
busy
My
commission.
kind of girl, superhero. My
She's
kind of
working
girl.
very hard. She's probably getting in 12 to 15 hours a week along with,
Wow.
and she's
Wow.
got 2 teenage boys and is a single mother and all that stuff. So, so I tell her whenever she can, don't worry,
Superwoman.
go on a fishing trip.
That's right. There's a break. Sandra, your hair is growing back to you.